Hello! Today I thought I'd share some ways you can improve Reaper's MIDI editor. Personally, I find the default settings for the MIDI editor to be not so great for composition, but I find there are a few ways you can improve on it. I'll make a new track and insert a MIDI clip. The first thing I want to change is that I find it too easy to accidentally add extra notes when I'm trying to edit existing ones. So for example, here are some notes like this. Say if I wanted to click and drag one to a new place. If you accidentally don't quite click on the note, then you can end up adding a new note instead. For this reason, I like to make it so you have to hold Ctrl and click. I'll click Options and then MIDI Editor Mouse Modifiers. I want to be able to select notes by clicking and dragging with the mouse. So I'll set the default action to Marquee Select Notes. Control Click and Drag is what I want to be used to place notes. So I'll go to the Control option and then Insert Note, then drag to extend or change pitch. Now if I click anywhere in here, it won't add a note, but I can click and drag to select notes. I can also press Ctrl and place notes wherever I like. The settings on this page are for if you click on a blank space. I also want to change the settings for when you're clicking on a note. So we'll go to the MIDI note page. This is really personal preference, but I'd like to swap the behaviours of Ctrl and Alt on this page. So I'll set Ctrl to edit note velocity, and I'll set Alt to copy note. I also find the default mouse wheel settings aren't very helpful. If I scroll without holding any buttons, it will zoom in horizontally. For me, I'd much prefer if this scrolled horizontally, which I think is the thing you'll want to do more often than zooming. I'll now go to Actions, then Show Action List. This by default puts us on the MIDI editor page. I'll start typing scroll horizontal. We'll find this action here. Then I'll click Add, and I'll just scroll the mouse. I'll click OK, then it will give us a warning because it's already mapped to zooming. In my case, I want to override it, so I'll click OK again. I can now scroll horizontally just with the mouse wheel. I'd still like it to be possible to zoom with the mouse. I'll now go back to the action list. I'll make it so that zooming horizontally is assigned to Control Mouse Wheel. I'll assign Alt Mouse Wheel to zoom vertically. This is all working correctly. In most other software, you can transpose the notes by using up or down on the keyboard, but in this case it zooms instead. So I'll go back to the action list. Then you can search for Move Note. Here we have Move Notes Down 1 semitone. I'll assign this to down. And we do want to override the mapping. And we'll do the same for moving a note up. I also want to make it so if we hold Shift, it will move the notes by an octave instead. So this action here is Move Notes Down 1 octave. I'll assign that to Shift Down. And for up 1 octave, I'll assign it to Shift Up. So now I can move them up or down with the arrow keys, and Shift to move it an octave. So I've now got it set up in a way that I find much easier to work with. Thanks for watching.